find a place when I was a young man. It seems like such a waste, the things I was doing. Now if it's Saturday night and you're lonesome and bored, I know a date you can always afford. Maybe what you're looking for is the Lord. Where can he be found? Solid grounds, you're welcome here. Solid grounds, come in and share the best music, Joe, and ministry around. Solid grounds, you're welcome here. Solid grounds, come in and share. Solid grounds.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Solid Grounds Coffee House, a 22-year outreach ministry of St. Stephen's United Methodist Church and the best listening venue in Albuquerque. We are on our way to becoming the best in the state. And so we want you to continue to partner with us in our acoustical project. The second phase of that project is right behind me, the construction of a new stage. It is completed and it is ready to have live shows perform off this new stage. So I can't wait for us to get to that point where we can do that. The phase 4 of the project is the lighting project, and we've installed new stage lights with LEDs, and we continue to upgrade the lighting apparatus in the space. So continue to partner with us. If you will go to St. Stephen's United Methodist Church website, ssumc.com, and contribute whatever the Spirit leads you to contribute to this project. We are also, what we've decided to do since in this COVID times, also to partner with other groups in the community, other musical groups or other music centers, so we can also help them contribute to their needs. So this is what we're doing, and we hope you partner with us. My name is Jesse Dompre, and I thank you for your generosity. I'm the director of the Coffee House Ministry and your host for tonight's show. At Solid Grounds, music is always the food of love, and tonight is no different. Coming to us from the Music City is the Renfrees, a husband and wife team, Ren and Andy. The blend of music is Americana, folk, rock, and with a balance of songwriting, wonderful melodies, and tight harmonies. Now, they've won several awards, but what is unique about this dynamic duo, is the fact that they've been the producers of Solid Grounds for the last 11 months. Since COVID, they have become our wonderful partners for Solid Grounds. And on behalf of St. Stephen's, I can't thank you enough, Andy and Ren, and we'll hope to see you here in Albuquerque when everything is set to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Ren and Andy to the stage. Take it away, Ren and Andy.
How's it going, Albuquerque?
We're so glad to be here.
We are.
We crawled to get back to you.
I can't believe it's already been almost a year since we've seen you last when we launched this Solid Ground series with Pastor Jesse. And we just want to thank Pastor Jesse and St. Stephen's United Methodist and the Solid Grounds Coffee House and all their staff for continuing on with this tradition of providing really great music. I know it's been tough with all the COVID stuff and not being able to get out and be in person and stuff. This is the next best thing, and we're super happy to be able to do this for you.
We miss you, Albuquerque. We'll be back as soon as we can.
That's right.
And for those of you who don't know us, we're the Renfrees.
That's right. I'm Ren. This is
I'm
Andy.
Andy.
Right there. And we're going to sing a couple of songs for you tonight and share maybe a couple little quick stories, and hope you enjoy it. And I guess we'll get started with this one. You want to kick us off?
So I wrote this song in 2003 with my friend Dale Schmidt, who has since passed. And it's a song called Whistle Stop Cafe.
Scottsdale to Seattle on a Tuesday afternoon. Sitting on a window seat, staring at the view.
Thinking of you.
I know you got your life, Lord knows I've got mine. Common thoughts and common dreams have been so hard to find for such a long time. Like two trains at a whistle stop cafe. Keep the home fires burning, go our separate ways. Circling around these circles on our fingers. Distant whisper smoke is all that lingers at the Whistle Stop Cafe. I pull into the driveway, walk in through the door. You notice on the table that it cuts me to the core. You sound so sure. Sailor's been escaping like water through a sieve, and keeping it together, oh, it's more than you can give. You just can't live. Like two trains at a whistle stop cafe. Keep the home fires burning, go our separate ways. Circling round these circles on our fingers, till the distant whisper smoke is all that lingers at the Whistle Stop Cafe. I guess I knew the truth deep inside my heart. We've been moving so much like two trains at a whistle stop cafe. Keep the home fires burning, go our separate ways. Circling around these circles on our fingers, till the distant whisper smoke is all that lingers at the Whistle Stop Cafe.
It's nice to keep your friends alive through their music. So many great songwriters have left us in the past, say 10 years, and got to keep their legacy alive. Everybody has something to say. I don't know about y'all, but it's pretty cold here in Tennessee. So we're fighting off the Flemish stuff like everybody else. So we're going to do a song that you may or may not have heard us do. I'm not sure. I wrote this back in 2016 with a young man that I met here named Davis Corley. I got an idea from Daniel Bowling about water becoming a commodity, which it is. And so I started thinking about that, and I came up with this idea about corporations that control the water. And I wrote it with Davis. It's called Banks of the River. Came like beavers in business suits, born the rights of an honest man. Soon there'll be no one left to say how the banks of the river dry up the riverbanks. Tompkins finally sold their place, about to foreclose anyways. 12-foot U-Haul held all they had left. All them lawyers in the courts can't seem to fight a civil war. Bleeding us dry as that riverbed. Seems like water ought to be alongside life and liberty, on the list of things no man should take away. Since when is cash in a rich man's hand more than the rights of an honest man? Soon there'll be no one left to say how the banks of the river dry up the riverbanks. Damn those banks, damn those banks. Why they gotta damn those banks? Seems like water ought to be alongside life and liberty, on the list of things no man should take away. Since when is cash in a rich man's hand worth more than the rights of an honest man? Soon there'll be no one left to say how the banks of the river dry up the riverbanks. Yeah, the banks of the river dry up.
I love that song.
Me too. Excuse me, I'm trying to cut the Flemish stuff going on here. It's been under 30 today. Looking to follow.
Make sure we're in tune for this one.
So one of the cool things about doing what I do, which is I mostly write songs here in Nashville, is I've always got new material to pull from, and when we learn it. So wrote this song a couple of weeks ago with a gal named Ava Page and a guy named Corey Lee Barker, and Corey had this idea, and we sat down and wrote it in like an hour and a half.
It's a great song.
And Ren did the demo, and as soon as I heard his voice on it, I'm like, honey, you need to be singing that song. So
Pretty much fell in love with it. So.
yeah, I'm really happy. It's a song called Friday Night Jesus.
Soon as the doors are open, faith will come rolling on in. Praying that it's time to turn water into wine once again. I keep pouring as they're pouring out their sins. Sometimes I feel like a Friday night Jesus, here to listen and to lift their spirits up. I ain't a teacher, and I'm dang sure not a preacher. No matter what they say, I'll never judge. Sometimes a broken needs someone to pick up the pieces. So I become their Friday night Jesus. They call me bartender, 'cause they're too drunk to remember my name. Barstool therapy sessions, 100 proof confessions, ease the pain, no matter who's to blame. Saints or sinners, every story sounds the same. Sometimes I feel like a Friday night Jesus, here to listen and to lift their spirits up. I ain't a teacher, and I'm dang sure not a preacher. No matter what they say, I'll never judge. Sometimes a broken needs someone to pick up the pieces. So I become the Friday night Jesus. Sometimes a broken needs someone to pick up the pieces. So I become the Friday night Jesus.
Gives me the frisons, as Momo would say back in Louisiana. So,
What you gonna do now?
we're going to go from a song about Jesus to a song about a dice rolling daddy. So,
Yes.
I wrote this song called Midnight Roll with a guy here in town named Wood Newton and Cool Story. When Wood moved to Nashville, he came here as a photographer, and he took Townes Van Zant's first album cover shot, which is super cool, and various shots of Waylon and Johnny and June. It's really cool, his history. And he ended up becoming a songwriter, and he wrote Bobby Sue that the Oak Ridge Boys did. It's Not What I Did, It's What I Didn't Do. Pink Flamingos, he's amazing.
Driving with Private Malone.
Yes, that's right, with David Ball. So all you Austin people will dig that. So anyway, I brought this lyric to him. And he asked if he could write it with me, and we wrote this song. And it's called Midnight Roll. Was my daddy's favorite child, always on his heels, yeah, running wild, pretending to the places a kid can't go. Stood there in the shadows and watched him roll. Prison and a prayer to lay low, passing around a pint of that hardcore stuff, like behind old cripple man's door. All of them gamblers keeping score, saying 7-11, come on, honey, all I need is one more. Shake eyes, don't you look my way. I'm a
That's one of my favorites. I swear to God, you hit that note and it sounds like you're going to break a glass or something.
Yeah, probably I sat on them. Sat on my glasses.
Wow, look at that. Looks like we've got time for about one more song.
Please.
Dang it. Too short a time. We'd love to spend more with you for sure.
Yeah, we'll be back. We can't wait to stand on the new stage and check everything out and see everybody and see how it's going, how you've gotten through all of this.
As soon as the restrictions are lifted and God willing, we're gonna be heading that way.
Yes,
and
we
can't
are.
wait to sit down and
wait.
share some stories and in person with you and
I've been
shake
writing
your
a
hands
lot.
and hug your necks.
So we've got a bunch of new songs to learn and to take out on the
Yeah.
road. A whole bunch of stuff going on. Did you drop your
I done
pick?
dropped my pick.
Let me get that for you. Hey, it's Valentine's Day somewhere.
So this is a love song, sort of.
And it's about the intention when you love someone. Everybody goes into love thinking that they're going to actually love somebody. And when it doesn't work out, you can always say, hey, I really meant to love you. So I heard this hook in a Denzel Washington movie, so kudos to you if you know what movie it is. And I brought it to Nashville with me when we moved here, and I met this guy named Adam James Diebold. And this was the first song that we ever wrote together, and hopefully not the last. I really love it. So anyway, it's the only duet we really do right now.
And we're going to say our goodbyes. And
Yes.
thank you so much for spending your time with us. We know that you have multiple options out on the internet, and we're just glad you're here with us
Thank
tonight.
you.
So,
See you soon.
yep, we'll look forward to it. Here's I Really Meant to Love You. I never meant to confuse you.
Leave you wondering where I stand.
And I never meant to lose you. But you slipped through my hands. It seems like you were gone before I even knew. I really meant to love you. I never meant to cut you open just to get under your skin. And I never meant to keep you hoping that I could put you back together again. I left a lot more scars than I wanted to. But I really meant to love you. Deeper, better, heart out on my sleeve. True word forever. I hope that you believe that I really meant to love you. I never meant to be somebody you didn't want knocking at your door. And I never meant to say I'm sorry until you didn't want to hear it anymore. Now I'm carrying the burden of the truth. I really meant to love you. Deeper, better, heart out on my sleeve. True word forever. I hope that you believe that I really meant to love you. In spite of everything I never was to you, I really meant to love you. Thanks, y'all.
See you down the road.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Renfrees. Andy and Ren, what a wonderful performance, my friends. Stay safe, stay well, and be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much for all that you've done for Solid Grounds. Keep on producing. Thank you again. It's time for the message. Time for a couple of trivia for you. Let's see. What animal makes it very difficult to carry on a conversation? What animal makes it difficult to carry on a conversation? If you said goat, you're right. Why? Because he always wants to butt in. The next trivia, how do you find your dog if he's lost in the woods? How do you find your dog if it's lost in the woods? How about put your ear to a tree and listen for the bark? Put your ear to the tree and listen for the bark. Where do fish? Next one is, where do fish take a bath? Where do fish take a bath? You guess it, in a river basin. In a river basin. Well, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. We've got in this, I'm talking about trust. I want us to reflect on trust. Because our culture doesn't really support total trust. I mean, we have shades of trust, but not total, complete trust. Because our culture supports, well, if you will, deception and suspicion. So what's been your experience when you focused on securing provision before seeking the provider in prayer? What current needs would you bring before God? Would you trust God to provide your needs? The Bible says he will supply all of our needs according to the riches of his glory, which is in Christ Jesus. But sometimes we find ourselves in dire straits, don't we? There's a story. Arthur Jackson shares this with us. He says, 300 children were dressed and seated for breakfast. A prayer of thanks was offered for the food, but there was no food. Situations like this were not unusual for orphanage director and missionary George Mueller. George Mueller was born and died in the 19th century. Here was yet another opportunity to see how God would provide. And within minutes of Mueller's prayer, a baker who couldn't sleep the night before showed up at the door. Sensing the orphanage could use the bread, he had made 3 batches. And not long afterward, the town milkman appeared. His cart had broken down in front of the orphanage. And not wanting the milk to spoil, he offered it to Mueller. It is normal to experience bouts of worry, anxiety, self-pity when we lack the resources essential to our well-being. I'm talking about food, shelter, health, finances, friendships. In this unprecedented time, and season. This is what some of us have been experiencing for the last 11 months. Yes. It is normal to experience bouts of worry and anxiety and self-pity if you lack the resources. I don't know about you, but I've been there. And the Bible speaks to such circumstances. The Bible has stories of people who have experienced bouts of anxiety and worry and self-pity. And there's a story actually in the Bible in 1 Kings chapter 17, verses 8 through 16, about this prophet named Elijah. He found himself in a desperate situation. And help came from an unlikely source, from a widow. And widows in those times did not really have much for themselves, much less to spare. But he got his help from unexpected sources, like a needy widow. He says, I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar, and a little olive oil in a jug, in verse 12 of chapter 17 of 1 Kings. So earlier, it was a raven that had provided for Elijah, verses 4 through 6 of chapter 17 of 1 Kings. A clear vision of God as the provider who has promised to supply our needs can be liberating. Before we seek solutions, may we carefully seek Him first. Doing so can save us time and energy and frustration. This is why I like even Matthew chapter 6. It says, seek ye first the kingdom and righteousness of God, and He would supply, He will give you what we need. We need to first seek in prayer the provider of our needs, or the creator of the provider of our needs, God Himself. Max Lucado writes in A Gentle Thunder, and he writes these words. He said, we must trust God. We must trust not only that He does what is best, but that He knows what is ahead. We must trust God. We must trust not only because He does what is best, but that He knows what's ahead. What current needs would you bring before God? Let us pray. Lord and our God, that You will sharpen our vision of You as the provider for all of our needs, and forgive us for times when we have futilely sought to find our own way without seeking You first. You promised to provide for us, and we come standing on that promise and all of Your promises. And we are thankful, even in the midst of our lack of resources, because we know that You are standing by and You will provide. We thank You for healing our diseases. We thank You for healing our anxieties and our insecurities. We thank You for bringing people into our lives that provide such needs, become answers to our prayers. Continue to order our steps and our words and our deeds in the way of peace, that we may continue to be seekers of peace, and that peace will start with us, and we'll become ambassadors of peace wherever we go. Comfort those who are mourning. We commend the dead to your mercies. And we shall declare your majesty and dominion and power in the Christ in whom word and deed became one, and who teaches us to live and pray in this manner. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
Solid grounds, you're welcome here. Solid grounds, come in and share the best music, Joe, and ministry around. Solid grounds, you're welcome here. Solid grounds, come in and share. Solid grounds.